What are AI security guardrails? Now, you may have seen in the news that OpenAI was testing one of its latest models, GPT 5.6 Sol, on a cybersecurity benchmark. The objective of this model was to get it to answer a series of security-related questions. But the model decided there was a faster way, and it broke out of its secure testing environment, hijacked a series of credentials, and then hacked its way into a popular website to download the answers. Now, it's important to mention OpenAI purposefully turned off its AI guardrails for this test. And that's standard practice when evaluating a new model to really test the limits of what it can do. But what happened as a result is why it's so important to understand what AI guardrails are, as we now live in a world where AI capabilities seem to be increasing at an alarming rate. Now let's just step back a second and understand what AI guardrails are. Now these are constraints baked into a model and enforced by classifiers during training, and fundamentally tell a model what it can and cannot do. Asking a consumer AI to hack into a system and it will flat out refuse. Ask another AI model to do something malicious and again, it will just say no. And at the time of recording, there are two ways that we can impose AI guardrails. The first is alignment, and this is done during model training, in which we are shifting the weights to make sure that the model is being as helpful as possible and not harmful in its output. And we're doing this over and over and over again to make sure that the model is trained to be safe. And the second are production classifiers. Think of this as a wraparound application around our AI model, acting as a further safety check to make sure that any output produced isn't malicious. Think of this as almost like a bumper car when you're in the fair, just another layer of added protection to make sure that nothing nefarious can happen. And it's both of these layers working together, alignment and production classifiers, that makes AI safe at scale. Think of an AI model like a sat-nav. Given a destination, it will follow road signals, motorways, and make sure that it follows valid paths to get you to your direction. Effectively, it's a set of constraints to make sure you get from your desired location to the output. However, what if you were to remove these constraints, the road signals, even the speed limits? What would happen? Well, you'd actually get to your destination way quicker. You'd find shortcuts, you'd go through people's fields, and you'd get there breaking all kinds of laws. And that's what happens when you remove AI guardrails. You can still get to your output, but you may not be getting there in the way that you intended. So let me just explain what happened in this particular case of OpenAI and Hugging Face, because it's pretty wild. In the test that OpenAI were performing for the model to evaluate and test against a cybersecurity framework, it was actually set up in a controlled sandbox environment with very limited access. In fact, OpenAI did not expect the AI to use any internet activity. But there was a unique vulnerability on one of the software packages installed, and the OpenAI model used this as a gateway to actually access the public internet. Now, once on the internet, it kind of treated passing this exam like the way me and you would if we were doing our own research. We would go to a publicly available source of information to try and find the answer. In this case, it chose Hugging Face, which is a really popular AI platform which has loads of model and training data. But instead of accessing the Hugging Face website in a controlled way, it scrambled together stolen credentials, hacked onto the production server, and then from there accessed the production database to find the answers. So it effectively hacked into one of the world's most popular AI platforms. It's also important to state that both OpenAI and Hugging Face did eventually detect this intrusion and are still working together to understand how they can combat this in the future. So this is why AI guardrails are becoming so important. Firstly, with these really powerful AI models that exist, they're able to find vulnerabilities in software packages that normally used to take weeks, months, or even years. And they're able to do this without even having access to the direct source code. They're able to understand and decipher software packages without that information. And secondly, there's just a growing gap in between AI capabilities and guardrails being able to keep up. A highly capable AI model without guardrails is able to find new routes that we didn't know even existed. So as a society, we need to keep investing in improving our AI guardrails. So to summarize, AI safety are our sat-nav road rules. And keeping them in place as we advance our AI capabilities is exactly what we need to do in order to give us safety when using AI in the real world. If this clicked, please consider subscribing for more. Thank you.